Hey guys, and welcome to Digital Heart. Today on Chattin Sh, we are going to talk about the Marvel with Sony deal because the internet hasn't blown up enough already, so I thought I'd put my little 2 cents in. So this whole deal is an absolute mess. Nothing makes sense. Everything's up in the air and it's absolutely ridiculous child play. So before I dive deep into the marketing, what the companies want and my little concept and the future of Spider-Man, don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe, hit that ding-a-ling button, and let's get to it. So, as everyone knows now, Spider-Man is in the MCU, which, let's just say, 5-6 years ago, we would not even think about, we would not even consider that as an idea. But two companies knew what the fans wanted, they bashed their heads together and made it work for the good of the fans, maybe a little money. So, Disney and Sony. I love everything about Marvel, I love everything about Disney. They are very power hungry, which, to be honest, I don't really care about because I do love the Disney films, I love the remakes, I love the whole Disney marketing plan. I'm a Disney guy, man, and the fact that they have bought Fox is whatever, that's fine. There's more Disney shit, happy me, I don't care. Sony to me have their heads screwed off. I don't think they know what they want. I don't think they know how to do certain things. Building PlayStations, they know. They should stick with that, Sony. That's a bit of all right. The reason I say that is because they obviously had no idea what they're doing with the Amazing Spider-Man. They just had these ideas. They wanted to build this universe. They screwed it. They absolutely screwed it. I don't want to say this horribly, but I don't think they care about what the fans want. I say that lightly because I don't think Venom would have been made if they cared about the fans. I actually liked the film Venom, it's alright. I liked it, it was a good film. But Venom wouldn't have been made if Sony cared about the fans, because before that Venom film, all we cared about was Spider-Man and Venom at one point clashing. That's all our fans want, that's all we want. The fact that they're taking Spider-Man out of the way and just doing a Venom film, knowing that fans want that and knowing that we can't ever have that because this is a whole different universe, it's a bit shit. And they're doing it just because they've got Venom. So that's my stance on Disney and Sony. Very different sides of the tree. Both, I think both they're doing their own thing. Sony want this, Disney want this. And this is why this deal has come forth. Marvel have now, took over the world. They're number one of universes. They are the best. They're doing phases 4, 5, and 6. And they want full control because they need it. To create something like Endgame again, they need full control of these phases and all their characters. And Sony over here, a few weeks ago, announced that they wanted to make a live-action Spider-Gwen film. Marvel can't have that shit flying around because that automatically says to us there's going to be a Spider-Verse with Spider-Man. And maybe they're not even considering that yet because they've got bigger plans. So the idea that Sony are announcing these things with Morbius, Venom 2, a Black Cat film, a Spider-Gwen film is a bit... what's happening right now? Is this a Marvel thing? Is this a Sony thing? I'm a bit confused. So Kevin's there like, oi, look, we want 50% of the Spider-Man, either take it or leave it. And Sony are like, wait a minute, no. So I get Sony's part with that, but I also get Disney's. It's hard. Disney want 50% of all Spider-Man rights, which I get. At the minute, people are saying they're very money hungry, whatever, they've already taken over the world. Let's not even consider money at the minute. Let's just consider a plan of action. They want Spider-Man all to themselves, right? So they can fulfill this whole new arc and have Spider-Man as the full front. Spider-Man's in this universe, Spider-Man's using all of this universe to bounce himself off. I get why they're asking 50%. Sony have other plans for this whole Spider-Man thing. And also, they're not happy with 50%. So Sony weren't happy with that. Obviously, they weren't going to make the money that they have been making with Homecoming and Far From Home. So they've taken Spider-Man away from Marvel, which I believe is an awful idea. I have an idea that I believe will bring every single Spider-Man fan together every single argument to an end. I genuinely believe that the idea that I'm about to pitch could be an event just like Endgame. So, my pitch. So, Marvel have just announced their 4, 5 and 6 phases into this new act structure, tied around with a little bow, and they're getting ready. Sony have just announced Venom 2, Morbius, and a Spider-Gwen live-action film. Now, this is why I believe taking Tom Holland away from Marvel is the worst idea they could ever do. I reckon Sony can create their own Spider-Man universe without Tom Holland. For starters, for this plan to work, Sony needs to give Tom Holland back to Marvel. Give them 50%, give them whatever they want. You'll earn, they're gonna make 9 Spider-Man films at one point. They've already said they wanted to. You can make 50% of probably $9 billion franchises. That's a lot of bloody money. That's perfect, right? Just keep the rights to Spider-Man, do your own thing. But let them have Tom Holland. The idea of Tom Holland without the cinematic universe, there is no Tom Holland Spider-Man. His Spider-Man evolves around Iron Man, it evolves around the MCU. He has now become the forefront. Nick Fury knows him. You'd have to take away Happy. It makes no sense. You haven't even included Uncle Ben. So even if we had that story arc, Tom Holland was thinking about Uncle Ben at this point, we've never seen that in the 4, 5 films he's been in. You're not only taking away Tom Holland from this cinematic universe that has become one of the biggest things in the world, you're taking away his core character development. And that's not right. You can't just chuck him into the new Venom film because it doesn't work. He's already fought Thanos. He already knows about this whole other universe. His father figure, for fuck's sake, was Tony Stark. Sony wouldn't even be able to mention Tony Stark. They wouldn't be able to think about Happy. He wouldn't be able to mention any of the events. He wouldn't be able to mention Thanos, the Snap, the biggest thing that changed Marvel history. That would now be forgotten. Sony, take what they're giving you. Disney are taking over the world. Can't beat them, join them. And there's nothing wrong with joining a multi-trillion-dollar company. Let's just take it. In the perfect world, Marvel now have Tom Holland. What can Sony do? They have Spider-Gwen coming out. They're going to do that. They've got Black Cat coming out. They've got Morbius, and they've got Venom 2. So, Venom. The one thing I hated about Venom is that Spider-Man was never included. Let's make that right. Sony now have control of anything Spider-Man but Tom Holland. Let's think about the story. Eddie Brock and Venom aren't getting along. Eddie Brock's becoming a bit of a psychopath because Venom wants to kill. He's a symbiote, he's an alien. That's how he survives. He can't survive on chicken, he can't survive on just random meat. He needs people. Every now and again, maybe Venom disappears and eats people. Eddie gets a bit pissed off. That breaks off and Cletus Cassidy becomes Carnage. That was fucking terrifying. Cletus Cassidy becomes Carnage. So now, not only are them two having a squabble, Eddie's not powerful enough, Venom doesn't have a host, and Cletus is out killing people. What does Venom do? Venom goes to his original host. Before Eddie Brock, he goes to his original host. Who could be that original host? Because Venom already has Spider-Man's eyes, he has the Spider-Man look. His original host could be Andrew Garfield. Bring back Andrew Garfield in Venom 2 and we have our new Spider-Man spin-off. Sony have now got Spider-Man in their world with Venom. That film ends, Andrew's just come back in the limelight, and we now have 2 live-action Spider-Men, which a few years ago I couldn't even fathom. People would get confused. People wouldn't know what's going on. There's 2 Spider-Men. People wouldn't question that now because Into the Spider-Verse was so good. It was the perfect way to showing the world that there are multiple Spider-Men. So the only people that knew about different Spider-Man were people that read the comics because it was nowhere else, or the people that wanted to watch the old 90s show. So now the fact there's a film out called Into the Spider-Verse where there's multiple Spider-Men through different dimensions, people will now accept that there's 2 Spider-Men. They will just accept it. And the fact that it's Andrew Garfield, someone that was already Spider-Man a few years back, they will accept even more because not only have we brought him back, we can finally finish off his saga, which was left. They can now take what they've learned from Marvel and build up Andrew Garfield as to the best of their abilities off the back of Venom 2. In the perfect world, Marvel have just done Tom Holland's Homeless or Me, along with Venom 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 3. So Amazing Spider-Man 3's came out, Andrew Garfield's back in the suit, Venom 3's coming out, maybe something bad's happening with Andrew Garfield, I don't know, so I don't really care. The next logical step is for them to coincide with Marvel. What is the best possible way they can do that? They take Marvel's whole formula and make their own phase. Phase 1, right? Amazing Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 3, Venom 1, 2, 3, but also, and now they can do what they wanted, and that is make Spider-Man spin-offs. They can now make their Spider-Gwen film. They can now make their Spider-Man 22 film because people understand that there are more Spider-Men. So with 3 Amazing Spider-Man films, a Spider-Gwen film, a Spider-Man 2099 film, a Venom 3, what is the next logical step? They can go even further. A Spider-Verse film. They take Andrew Garfield, they take Spider-Gwen, they take 2099, they take Spider-Man Noir, they take Venom, and they ask Marvel, because they said in their contract, we need Tom Holland for this film. They take Tom Holland for whatever they're doing, bring him into the Spider-Verse so Andrew Garfield can be with Tom Holland, which is perfect because they are called Peter Parker, but they live 2 different lives. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man had Uncle Ben and Tom Holland's had Tony Stark. We have now the perfect Spider-Verse film to give every single fan what they want. So imagine the film. Andrew Garfield's been sucked into this thing. Gwen's there from the spin-off. They need to treat this like Avengers. Spider-Gwen comes out, Tom Holland comes out, 2099 comes out, Andrew Garfield comes out. They fight this big baddie, I'm not too sure what it could be, whatever. Now this is where the $1 billion endgame theme comes in. Imagine these Spider-Men, Spider-People doing their thing, fighting the bad guy takes them all out. Tom Holland's almost dead. Andrew Garfield's almost dead. 2099 just there like, oh, I can't do this anymore. The web shooters for Spider-Gwen's just ran out. She's there like, I don't know what to do. Maybe the live action Insomniac PS4 version of Spider-Man's there. Bring everyone, I don't care. Everyone's on their last legs. Everyone's about to die. Tom Holland looks at Andrew Garfield and they're emotional. They know something bad's going to happen. And all of a sudden, we see an interdimensional portal open up and in comes the Sam Raimi original Spider-Man theme. Tobey Maguire, after about 15 years at this point, steps out of this portal and saves every single one of them. This could be one of the greatest films ever made, and it all starts with giving back Tom Holland to Disney. Like, you can even go beyond that. Imagine Spider-Verse is done. Everyone's cool with this new Spider-Man thing going around. Spider-Man 4 comes out. Tobey Maguire's last outing. He's getting a bit old. He's getting a bit rugged. Maybe he wants to quit. Maybe something bad's going on in his life. It's been 20 years he's been Spider-Man now. He's getting old. He's losing the will. What happens? Maybe this is where we see the death of Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire could be the first live-action Spider-Man to die. Andrew Garfield cannot die. He's too young, he's too inexperienced, and he's just come back. Tom Holland can't die. Marvel have plans. He's becoming the forefront. He's too young. Tobey Maguire has now lived 20 years as Spider-Man. He's done everything he can, and he's at the end of his Spider-Man career. In this perfect world, there will be then 3 Peter Parkers, 3 Spider-Men. It's cool being 2 because they're 2 different companies, but 3 is overkill. Imagine this, Spider-Man 4 or the ultimate Spider-Man. Something bad has come to New York City and Tobey Maguire has to put the mask back on and save the world, but at a cost. He sacrifices his life to save the woman he loves, to save his auntie May. This is perfect because it's the best send-off for Tobey Maguire. He can't do it anymore. He's 40 coming on 50. He's an old guy. And we need an actual finish of Tobey Maguire's story. We need him to be happily married. We need him to maybe have a kid. We need Aunt May to hold Tobey Maguire in his arms saying, you did everything Uncle Ben wanted you to do. That is the best send-off for Tobey Maguire that could ever happen. Have him die in Mary Jane's or Aunt May's arms. But what can come after Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? The first live-action Miles Morales inspired by Tobey Maguire's death. So we not only have Andrew Garfield to look forward to, we have Miles to look forward to. We have MCU Spider-Man to look forward to. I believe that every single Spider-Man fan in the world will love that Spider-Verse film with all three of our Spider-Mans back in action and living their best life in the best possible way, in the best companies they can be with. I don't know, it seems possible. It seems possible, and I feel like that's the direction they should go. And I'd be very disappointed and completely uninterested and very worn out with the idea of Tom Holland being rebooted or thrown into this new universe where it's not only ruined Tom Holland's character, but it's now ruining my experiences of the next phase of the cinematic universe that is Marvel. And if they reboot the character for a fourth time, I will be done. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate you listening to me squabbling about this idea. I really hope something like this happens because I genuinely believe it will be the best way to not only end multiple franchises, but to bring everything we love about Spider-Man together in one film. I really appreciate you guys watching it. Please comment, subscribe, share this video to your friends if you enjoyed it. And quick update on my Spider-Man film. We are very close to finishing, and I mean extremely close. We've just hired a lot more VFX artists to get it to smash it up. Basically, we're gonna have a trailer put up soon about the next release date for Spider-Man, and we are not doing it in parts. We're not doing a part 1, part 2 anymore. The next part will come out will be the full film. So guys, appreciate you waiting so long. I appreciate you watching this video, and yeah. And let's hope something happens with the Sony deal, because let's not try and kill ourselves. It's ridiculous. So let's hope something comes of it. Cheers!